This is what I realized that, hey, this anime might be really, really good. Dusk Beyond the End of the World, chat. I think we might have found a banger with this one. And I say that because it's something like a possible future for mankind, like for real. And I think that's very interesting because mankind is on the road of creating robots and all these other things and or destruction of their own self, right? With this anime here, I learned that it's not an isekai. Shocker, right? I mean, no, it's not an isekai, but would you consider waking up in the far future an isekai or a form of it? Maybe a different layer of it. Anyway, chat, let's get into it. Let's get into this. So we have the main character who wakes up in a pod, a broken pod, but a pod nonetheless, in the ruins of a lab. Now he supposedly is from the year 2000 and something. So he's already like well into the future, like 2030 something, I think. So it's a little bit far, but not too far off. But he wakes up in the future. He's a college student or whatever, or high school, 18 years old and everything. He wakes up in his broken pod and he sees his city or wherever he grew up in ruins with lakes and grass, you know, all this lettuce stuff that you see people eating. Ugh, nasty. I prefer all beef. Thank you very much. No grass. That's grass is for the cows that I eat. Anyway. So he wakes up and see like everything in ruins. You can't really tell from this distance. Maybe if you get a little bit closer, but you know, cameras only work so well in anime. And we also get to get introduced to, or at least a small segment of what we are, who we're going to be meeting eventually. I probably already told you that this is more of a sci-fi kind of anime. It's sci-fi, but apocalyptic sci-fi. Yeah, I should have said that from the beginning. It's more of an apocalyptic sci-fi, like after everything kind of went to poop. And well, at least there's no more hackers in Call of Duty. How about that, chat? That's better, right? At least there's no more internet. Oh my gosh, could you live in a world without internet? I couldn't. I mean, I could if I was forced to, but I wouldn't want to. Yeah. So what's the capital of Venezuela? Can I use the internet? No, but you can use a library. What the heck is even that? Sounds like a terrible place to go. Anyway, he meets the indigenous people who are all dark-skinned, chat. I wouldn't necessarily call them black, but they are dark-skinned with pink hair or something. Well, at least he has pink hair. That's clearly a mutation because you can't have natural pink hair unless you're dyeing it with cherries or raspberry or whatever you do. So they help take him back. Right off the bat, apparently this is the chief's daughter. She's adorable right off the bat. So apparently I learned that they worshipped the pod he was in before it was broken. The village folk would, apparently sit around it and just like worship the pod and call him the wise one. And I'm like, why? I only watched the first episode, chat, and I still have no idea why he was considered the wise one. I'm assuming there are other people in pods that haven't woken up and they kind of do the same thing in other villages. Who knows? Hopefully we'll find out. I might actually, this is probably the second anime that I've made a video about that I will have to follow up on. The other one was a Sanda. Also, about that Sanda anime, it's called Sanda, but it's about Santa Claus. So about that anime, that video that I posted about it, that almost got 1,000 views right off the bat, and that we normally don't get that. We normally get into like the double digits. So be sure to like and subscribe, chat, because I think we're on a roll. I hope. But they take him back to his their village. Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. The villagers would stay around his pod and worship or pray to this naked 18-year-old who's in a pod. I'm just saying, it's very weird, chat. I just want to point that out. I just want to really point that out to you. I will never go somewhere and pray to something with his medulla oblongata out. It's very weird stuff. Also, now that I look at this photo, this is I never realized these, like this guy right here and this guy over here. Like I know who they are now after I watched the entire episode, but it's so weird that I feel like what ended up you know what, we'll get further when we get there. I'll explain what's on my mind. So he has a little bit of a flashback or flashback about him being 18 in Japan or wherever he is in. Apparently he took a field trip with his childhood best friend. Also, if you're wondering why childhood best friends are a thing in a lot of anime, is because they actually are a thing in Japan. I mean, in the girl sense kind of thing. Or yeah, because from what I've learned about Japan is that it's kind of hard to make new friends in Japan. You're normally stuck with the ones you grew up with. Making new ones is kind of a little bit more difficult than you would find in other parts of the planet. Yeah. With me, I can go up to anybody like, hey, what's up? You like anime? You do? Well, wait, do you like live action Dragon Ball? You don't? Congratulations, you're my best buddy. Don't look at me like that. You know what I'm talking about. All of you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't think I've ever met someone who likes anime that I did not like. Huh. And even if you don't like them, because they love anime, you know, they're already friend zone for me. Not that I'm trying to date that individual. You know, whatever. I don't care. Let's move on. So we meet the chieftain's wife, and she has a baby. Also, we learned about how marriage is done in this one. This was, I'll bring that up a little bit later, but it's very interesting how they do it. Very, very wild stuff. So she's like, oh, that's the wise one, huh? I don't know why they call him wise, by the way. I think the wise one, I really want to say more about it. Let's just keep it rolling. So they sit down and eat. And then you have the people, the other guys there. They're like, hey, we need to report this. Right? That he woke up and yada, yada, this, yada, yada, that. We need to, you know, let the rulers who's ruling. Because apparently he's in this new world, there's no war. All the countries are gone. No more countries. It's all like everybody's under one banner, one world government kind of thing. And everybody's pretty much in the, you know, tribal stage. Right, because apparently any type of information is like held by that government and is protected by that government. Any type of like advanced technology information. Oh, very weird stuff, chat. Very weird stuff. Because knowledge is power. Then we see the creepy girl again. I call her the Diddy girl. Yeah, the reason why I call her that, because if you're like creeping on somebody, you chat. If you're creeping, if you're standing around with a hood in the middle of the night or even the day and you're just watching this one individual, you're a creep. I'm sorry. You're just a creep. Stop it. Get some help. You know, right? So also when I saw this scene where he was washing his face in the morning, and I'm like, are you supposed to wash your face in the drinking water? How long does face scrapings like stay in the drinking water, or does it like eventually sink to the bottom? Face scrapings. Freaking disgusting. Face flakes. Get them today. Probably $5 $5 a box. Freaking disgusting. Anyway, so the little girl takes him to the market. Very simple stuff. He gets to see more of the culture and all that fun stuff, and she shows him a bear claw. Now, bear paw or bear claw, what have you. Now, some people would think, oh, an alcoholic beverage. I think a bear claw is an alcoholic beverage, or it's a energy drink. It's one of the two. I think a bear claw might be alcoholic, but it's very low alcohol. I don't know, chat. One of you alcoholics, if you can type on your keyboard, on your phone or your computer, try to tell me. Yeah, don't try not to, you know, speak gibberish, because I know you're probably drunk right now. Like, it's 6 a.m. How are you drunk already? Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm just teasing. Stop it though. Drink something else like orange juice. It's better for you. So she takes him to the library, or because he asked like, hey, do you have any place where like a library or something like that? Which I think is crazy. The last thing I'm doing is asking to see a library if I wake up anywhere. Yeah, I'm just saying, chat. You just won't see me. You won't catch me doing that. Well, okay, you can't read. Yes, I can't read. Well, I can read. I just don't want to read. I think reading is for chumps and very smart people. One of the two. You're either a chump or a really, really smart person. You figure it out. And he still can't find any information about what's going on in the world, which is, you know, now that I, you know, say that, I realize that there's a trend. A lot a lot of the information that he would want to find is being coveted. Yeah, I know that word, Chad. I know that word. You're surprised, aren't you? Yeah, well, remember when I said I have a problem with chibi face? I do. I don't like chibi face in anime because I feel like it makes it way too, what's the word? Not serious. I like a good serious anime like Free Run, right? Man, so this is an 18 plus anime, by the way. And I saw somewhere in the comments, someone say he or she kept passing it up because it said 18 plus. And he or she thought it was some kind of lewd anime. And I'm like, what kind of repressed what kind of repressed nonsense is that? I'm like, come on, man. Like, you do know how you were born, right? You do know how mankind has flourished, right? What, you gonna see your wife, you're on your honeymoon, you guys about to, you know, do the deed, and you look at your wife like, no, that's 18 plus. I don't, nope, that's wrong. I don't want anything to do with it. It's like, yeah, but we're gonna have a baby. Yeah, but let's find another way to have a baby. There's a baby outside. Let's just take that one. I don't think that's how that works. Grow up. Stop it. Get some help. Chat. When I saw that comment, I'm like, really? You know, a lady told me that there's a trend in the new generation of people where they're so afraid of the female form that they start calling it gooner bait. And I'm like, are people calling women gooner bait now? That's crazy. Anyway, let's get this little girl off the screen while we talk about that kind of stuff. It's so weird. So she's upset because the people that was in here, she was saying the people that was right here in this photo were a bunch of jerks. And if you've guessed it, yes, they are white people. Very, very interesting thing that, chat. I got to know why all the indigenous people are brown, dark skin, and all the military people have white skin. I gotta watch more of this to figure out why that's the case, because there's no way all the dark skinned people are just the kind and loving and all that crazy. There's no way. There's no way. They're trying to tell you something. Chat, I hate messagey, like anything that has like some type of narrative. Yeah, I don't like it. Even if I agree with that narrative, I don't like those kind of narratives. It's just so weird to me. Kind of like how that Avatar movie about the blue people, it was just so anti-corporation, anti-humans, and the humans just did everything wrong and lost. Very weird stuff. And it's just a very weird, beautiful movie. Bad writing. Do I think they should change it? No. I think the writers, you know, is how it is, but still, this anti-mankind narrative is weird, right, chat? Anyway, I'm rambling. Next. So she's explaining how the corporations or the new world government is just a bunch of jerks, all right? And she's adorable trying to explain it too. I highly recommend watching this. And we get to see a little bit more of their culture. Yeah. I thought he was like chiseling like stuff like some Flintstone stuff. No, but he was using chalk or coal or whatever whatever you people use. And we get to see their version of marriage. Marriage could be as many. He asked, I'm like, what? You can marry 100 people? And she was like, no, that's stupid. But you can marry a lot of people. I'm like, okay. Tell me what's stupid, little girl. A book. Yep. Book reading. Anyway. So these 4 ladies are just getting married, but they don't call it marriage. They call it something else, like the Diddy flip. I don't know, Chad. I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out a word for it. I cut it out though. So we see another flashback of our main character giving his childhood best friend a ring. Now, while you're watching this, you notice that he's using the term big sister, but it doesn't make any sense. And even she thinks, she's like, hey, don't you think you can stop calling me big sister? Right? Especially if you're giving me a ring. Right? Now, he didn't say like, hey, you want to get married? I don't have the screenshot, chat. I'm trying not to have too many screenshots, so you can, you know, go watch it yourself. Right? And copyright. But she's like, hey, don't you think you could not call me big sister anymore, because you literally just gave me a ring to supposedly to get married. even though he never officially said it. But in this particular scene, we hear them talking about how AI would train, not AI, but I guess you can call it AI. AI and androids will change the future. And maybe she was right, because everything's in ruin for whatever reason. You know, there's a robot war going to be going on in the real world, chat, right? You know that? And then you got, whatever. I don't want to get into it. They're splicing human and animal DNA. There, I said it. Go Google it. Anyway, their tractor was having some difficulties. So just like a pure genius, apparently he messed with electronics a lot. Well, yeah, I guess you can call a tractor electronics, engineering, or whatever you want to call it. He messed with that kind of stuff in the past. So, he took apart an entire tractor with just one screwdriver, because that's how good he is. I don't see any other tools. I'm just saying he just built different, chat. Can you do that? No, you can't. Anyway, and even they were like, whoa, just one screwdriver, entire tractor. Crazy thing is, they never even asked him to take it apart. There was nothing wrong with it. He just took it apart. They say, oh, this guy is stupid. Why is one my butt? Nah, they asked him. It was broken, so they asked him to fix it, and he did. Now, while he was doing that, the bad guys finally show their face. You know, the guys I was telling you about a little bit? This dude looks like Gaston. There's this one content creator. She said that if she would love a man like Gaston, and she said she wouldn't even want to try to change him and make him better. She was like, no, he's perfect how he is. I'm like, dude's a jerk. The dude is a jerk. Hey, chat. Some women, if you're big, broly, and mean, some women, there's a woman out there for you. There's a woman out there for you. I'm just saying, but try not to be mean to the, I don't know what to tell you. Some people like mean people, I guess. I don't, because then I become mean, but nobody wants that. Anyway, we have a little bit of a snitch here, chat. Now, here's the thing. He wasn't necessarily doing it because he hates anybody. He was doing it because he understands the process. He understands that, hey, villages have been destroyed because they didn't report their artifact. And the main character, is considered an artifact. And he didn't want his village to get destroyed. So he went out in the middle of the night and reported it. The problem is, it was a little bit too late. But we will get to that part when we get there. Look at him point like a chump. I bet he reads books. Oh, what a weirdo. Anyway. I bet he's pretty smart too. Anyway, you know what? Would I have done the same thing? I don't know. It depends how scared I am of losing my village. Yeah. Anyway, I realized that he's married. So when I see these two earrings right here, he's married to this one over here, this lady right here, chat. And I was like, oh, so apparently, she is married to 3 husbands. That's why she's got 2 babies. Probably gonna get a third one after this one's grown up. Chat, how many wives or husbands could you have? How many? Be honest. Put it in the chat. Put a number in the chat. Like, is it 1, 2, 3 times the lady? Yeah. And I guess it also depends, like, if they have jobs or not. Like, if you're with your income, how many wives or husbands could you take care of? Man. And I'm not talking about in a village. I'm talking about today. Anyway, so we have Creepy Gaston just being a weirdo. Now, here's the thing. I've always said in the few anime that I did talk about, I was like, I never did like anime villains who were just over the top evil. Like, they're blatantly evil, you can tell. However, I also said that it is kind of all right if you're giving off henchman vibes. Like, he's clearly giving off a henchman kind of vibe. I think everybody in their right mind can tell that this guy needs a jaw reduction. I'm just a chin reduction or something, because geez Louise, Crimson Chin looking over here. The Crimson Chin, not the black Crimson Chin. I don't even want to say his name. It's too close to the R word. I don't want to say it. So he's creeping and macking on this one guy, and I thought on the main character, and I thought for it looks like for a second he might be married to 2 others or something like that, or maybe 3. It's hard to tell if he follows the same culture. Maybe that might come into play in the future. Who knows? It would be a very clever thing to add into the first episode, but it comes in on the 3rd episode or something like that, or 5th or 6th kind of thing. I think that would be pretty cool. Very creative. So he shoots the girl's father in the leg and abducts all three of them. The main character, not the main character, but this guy over here was like, hey, that wasn't part of the deal. He's like, I know, I changed it. I'm like, I mean, he did in fact change it right then and there. So, I can't even be mad at him though. He was scared for his family. He was scared for his everything. He just made the wrong call. What would you do? Chat, what would you do in a situation like that? Would you go around finger pointing like that and doing all this nonsense? Or would you just try to hide it? Tell nobody. Who knows, chat? Who knows? I would give it some thought. Yeah. And I know you're like, somebody's back there like, Candy, I'm not gonna be no snitch. I'm like, is that right? All right, well, just be ready to possibly die if they ever catch you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, chat. There's really nothing you can say. Nothing more you can say about it. So they get abducted, and this is when I realized that I probably need to watch more of this, is when they take the little girl and her father out of the cage, and he was like, all right, kill these two and go back to the village and kill everybody else there. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I left the microwave running. No, not really. It was just a bit. It was a bit. All right, jeez. Kill the entire village. And the reason why is because he wants to make sure, or whoever he's working for wants to make sure no information about technology or advancements gets out, because they want to use his understanding of things to progress. I assume a lot of information was lost during some type of catalytic expialidocious event that happened and destroyed the world. I assume. I'm like 90% sure that's the case. And there are people who have been sleeping in pods that are waking up, and they're only waking up for certain reasons. And I think that's why the villagers are there, to try to wake up whoever's been sleeping. Somehow, I am not sure, because clearly they don't want the villagers to know what he knows, but at the same time they're there watching. It's very weird stuff, man. Clearly they're using the villagers to wake these people up, like wake up these sleepers from the past who just happen to have information to how they can get their technology back or something. It's very weird stuff, chat. It entices me to watch more of it, and I hope it entices you to finally eat your veggies, because I know they're disgusting, but they're way better than reading a book. I'm kidding. Eat your veggies, like these guys. Ugh. Anyway, now before they can blow these two's brains out, her brain and his brain, specifically her brain, like you gotta be some kind of villain, chat, to be like shooting the young like that in the back. Like, oh man, that's if you are the cause of someone's young's death and it's not an accident, you're a villain. You are a villain. Oh yes. If you eat veggies, no, if you eat ribs with a lot of sauce on it to the point where it gets on your fingers, and you pick up a controller and start playing it without wiping your hands, you are a mega villain. Hey, I don't make the rules. Also, new rule. Don't do that ever again. Don't ever do that. But again, I don't make the rules, but don't do that. That's the new rule. Anyway. So this girl, the Diddy girl who's been like, creeping around, finally appears and says, hey, I can help you out, but you got to do me a favor. And the boy was like, yes, anything you want, I will do it. And she was like, all right. Chat, put in the comments of what you think. Like, pause this video and put in the comments what you think that favor is. I'll wait. No, I'm kidding. Just pause the video and just guess. Okay. Anyway, so she kicks him so hard in the head that he bounces off the ground like a Nerf ball, or whatever kind of ball that bounces. Yeah, like a beach ball or a volleyball or a soccer ball, and just kicks him right to the barn door. Crazy thing is, he's still all right. He's not tough, but he's very resistant. I was shocked personally. Even she said it. So they start opening fire on her, and in good old fashioned force field technology, she reflects it all. And then this is what I realized that, hey, this anime might be really, really good. Well, I already thought that a little while ago, but then I got like really like, oh wow, that's really good. Cause I didn't take a picture of the parts. However, just that blade and her chopping up people was graphic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is getting terribly awesome. It's terrible, but some of these people that's doing their job, they're like, look, I got a 9 to 5. I'm just here just to, try to do my job. I am not trying to get sliced and diced. All right. If I was with some type of militia, right, and I see someone with a lightsaber going around chopping people up, I'm like, hey, nope, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want no problem. I'm good. All right. I'm just trying to get home, play some Xbox or PlayStation or whatever we got in this, post-apocalyptic world. All right. I don't want no problem. So like I said before, the dude is still alive, missing a few teeth, but he's still alive. And he pulls out the chain gun. Those things are very heavy, by the way, like really, really heavy. You're not really able to really do that from what I hear. There was what movie was it? Arnold Schwarzenegger was holding one of these, and wasn't really holding it. He had like some contraption to help him hold it, because those things are really heavy. I've never seen someone freely hold this before. I don't think that's a thing. An LMG, sure, but this is a light machine gun, sure, but not like a Gatling gun. Yeah, there's a lot more going on with there. Unless the dude's ripped. Not ripped, but unless he's got some like superpowers going on. But a lot of media don't really cover that. So she pulls out her own blicky, the Gatling gun. Trying to think of what kind of gun you might find in Halo that looks like that. I'm thinking about that ship. It might be a space cannon in Halo. Yeah, it looks something like that. Very similar. She pulls out the good old-fashioned railgun, plasma cannon, Gatling gun, or whatever you want to call it. The boom boom stick, yeah. And then just vaporizes the entire train, and including a mountain way in the back. Yeah, I bet there was a village right there too. Sarah just got home from her school, about to go show her mom her drawing, and then boom, everything's gone. No more Sarah and no more drawing. Anyway, so now that she saved the day, she tells him what she wants from him, right? And she's like, hey, I'm an android and I want to get married. And I'm like, I called it. I don't know how I called it, but I did. Because I'm like, probably some kind of marriage, I bet. Well, I think that's just anime logic, right? Is that anime logic, chat? Girl comes out of nowhere, saves the day, and says, you're going to be mine, kind of thing. Yeah. At least it ain't like that villain lady from like that one anime. I forgot what it's called. Kila? No, not Kila. It was something. I think it might have been Kila. No. All I know is that it was the ice lady. She was a villain who fell in love with one of the main characters, or the main character, really. I really don't want to spoil the ending for you. That one's a good anime. If you know what anime I'm talking about, put it in the comments. Anyway, chat, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.